And we're back today with another episode of our podcast. I'm Victor, that's Julian, in the heart of Miami Lakes. Be fit, where we call home.
Last week we spoke about how most people with a gym membership don't actually use it. Today we're gonna go a little bit deeper and tell you why some gyms actually plan on you not showing up and profit from it.
That's fucked up.
The truth though. So this episode will be a little bit different in the sense that you, the listener, as a consumer, I would assume that you're not really thinking about like the business model of gym ownership.
No.
Like what's going on behind the scenes, like how do these gyms profit and what are the different models. So the goal for today is just to make you a more informed consumer. I don't like fluff. I'm a fluffy kind of guy, you know? It's my favorite comedian, but that's about it. So when it comes to the fitness industry, there's obviously a lot of different types of gyms and fitness studios and things like that. But for the sake of this discussion, we're gonna focus on two. One being the high volume, low price type of memberships. These are the $10, $15 a month gyms that people are used to seeing, huge gyms with a lot of equipment. You pay very little and then you have access to the gym, but then you don't really get much else. There's no classes, no personal training, nothing like that. Mm-hmm. And then the other category would be like boutiques, studios, Pilates spaces, yoga, places like Be Fit, F45, those kind of franchises as well. There's just two big differences between those two. Now, these high volume ones, these $10 a month gyms, they know and understand that about 60%, and I would honestly say it's more than that, of their members won't show up.
Yeah.
So they really try to market and just sell as many memberships as possible, understanding that the average person goes less than once a week. And then they could just sell a bunch of memberships, make a ton of money off that, and they're banking on you not actually showing up.
I think a lot of these places are actually like not just counting on you not going, but they need you to not go, because if not, then the gym's gonna be slammed all the time. You sell $110 memberships, there can't be 100 people in the facility at once.
For sure, and we're talking in the thousands here. So the average,
of course. I mean,
the
like
average
100
gym,
in the 30-minute window.
Yeah. The average gym has like 7,500 members of these like big box gyms. So just to give you an idea, it's 7,500 people. Imagine if they all showed up. What's interesting about some of these marketing strategies of these gyms is that they're targeting people who don't usually like the gym or frequent the gym, which is like 80% of the population. So if you think about it, it's genius. It's like, well, why market to these meatheads and these, fit fanatics that are like a subset of the population? And why not market to people that don't really like the gym, but we're gonna have an in here where like it's like a gym for people who don't like gyms or whatever. So it's a big subset of the population, and then of course, because those people are not very disciplined, let's just face it, then they know they're not going to be using the facility. It's not like this like nefarious thing. We're not sitting here saying, oh, these evil people that are targeting people and just taking their money. No, it's honestly, when it comes to business, it's a genius marketing strategy.
They're taking advantage of knowing that you're not going to
Human nature.
Yeah.
They know it's hard. Most people fail with their fitness goals. And hey, why don't we like at least give them the option to? And at the end of the day, it's $10 a month. Like, what's $10 a month? It's not much. So in that same marketing strategy, you can see that it's like a very relaxed attitude to fitness. Like, oh, it's not about like being super strict at all. You can see it in their messaging, right? And a lot of these gyms have like this whole like no judgment or judgment-free zone, or actually they might even like punish you for being like too like meatheady, no slamming weights, that kind of stuff. No grunting. So in a way, the point here being that there's no incentive for the gym and their business model for you to show up. There's no incentive for them. Like they don't gain anything from you showing up. Now you can argue, well, if they don't show up, won't they like cancel their membership and and then I won't make money from them? You tell me, do you have a membership to one of these gyms that you don't use?
First of all, it's usually priced well enough that you don't really either don't notice it or don't mind like, oh, it's just another $10 charge. Or they make it a nightmare to cancel, which is another thing I've heard a lot of. Like you have to send a carrier pigeon to Timbuktu and hope that the manager replies to you to cancel your membership.
Like in The Gentleman?
Like in The Gentleman.
Which, by the way, sucked. You were right. The end of it was not good. I'm glad you mentioned the price because that's exactly where I was going next. And I actually read a few articles from even executives of these businesses, and they see it, like that price is so strategically developed, and if you notice, like it always stays at around $10 a month. It doesn't go up, it doesn't go down. because it's just a low enough barrier of entry where it's like, oh, it's only $10, like, and not expensive enough that it's gonna hurt you financially where you have to or want to go cancel. Whatever, you don't want to go through the trouble of having to go cancel.
And it's actually one of the things that as we get older, you see everything goes up in price, but gyms have somehow gotten cheaper, because when we were going to these membership gyms, I remember paying like $30 a month for a membership gym.
And that was reasonable.
And it was a tiny little piece of, well, you remember.
It was a beep hole.
Yeah, you remember that? Those cockroaches, the cockroaches would spot you though, so it was pretty good.
That's true, yeah. No. Remember that one time the guy brought his baby in the stroller?
The baby was
and the guy was, I kid you not, the guy was, he was doing bicep curls and the baby in the stroller just like right next to him there in the middle of the gym.
The baby wasn't doing curls.
Like,
I know he was doing this, but the baby wasn't doing curls.
We're like, did this guy just bring his baby? Where'd you get that baby from, Australia?
The cockroaches, the half-eaten toilet seat, well worth the $30 price point.
So check out this quote that I got from one of the articles about one of these gyms. It's such a good quote because one of the things that you guys may not know, but one of the big cash cows of a gym is personal training. So any type of membership gym that offers personal training, like that's like an upsell that you want because it's expensive. You can make a lot more money per hour from it. Look at this quote from one of these articles. The best kind of customer a gym can have is one who buys a lot of personal training, but the second best kind is the one who dutifully pays his monthly fees but rarely or never visits.
Way to care about your clientele. Jeez. And that's funny because I've had people come in here and tell us, like, I've had a membership to XYZ for years and I've gone twice, and I'm like, God, there's no getting that money back. And people have spent, this isn't like a $10 gym, these were pretty expensive gyms, and I was like, man, you could have spent that on yourself, on a trainer or something, and gotten actual results.
You know what's really interesting? Another interesting reason why people don't cancel is because they actually did a study on this. I was reading that too, that most people have like an unrealistic expectation of their future self. It's the whole procrastination thing, right? Like, I'm gonna be more productive tomorrow. Monday, I'm gonna start going. That's why I know I'm gonna start going in the future. So that's why I don't want to cancel it, because I still want to get fit. Like all these people paying for it, they want to get fit. It's what they talked about last podcast about. You have the desire, but we all fool ourselves basically into thinking that the future you is going to be more consistent. So let me not cancel it because it's only $10 and I'm going to end up going.
Let me buy a pair of running shoes. I'm going to run eventually, and there they are.
Yep.
Collecting dust.
So let's contrast that business model with a studio like ours, right? Or any other type of studio like this. We actually have a completely contrary business model in the sense that in order for us to succeed, we need our clients to come. We need them to be consistent. We need them, most importantly, to see results, right? So there is no incentive for people to pay us and not show up, because obviously we're a lot more expensive. So they're going to notice it's not $10 a month. They're not going to see results. They're not going to be happy. So it's on the contrary. We need them to come, to be consistent, to build a habit, to feel better, to see results in order for them to be a happy customer, for our brand to grow, for them to give us referrals, to tell their friends about it. So we have every incentive in the world to be on top of people, hold them accountable, and really truly help them.
Yeah.
That's the only way our business works.
Yeah, and we didn't start it as let's keep these people accountable because they're making us money. We started because we genuinely care and we wanted to help people. And it just so happens those two things go hand in hand in our fitness model.
Yeah, it's the only way we know.
Yeah.
It's not like I never even thought until a few years ago that, like, wow, it's true, gyms do make money from people not showing up.
Yeah, same. Like, but now you realize, like, if your schedule's not full, if you're a trainer and your schedule's not full, you're the one that's not going to be making money.
Yep. Yeah, it's so again, everything in life is about incentives, and you have to understand that, like, what is this business incentive? Well, some businesses, some gyms, it's like, if you don't go, fine. You're still paying them money. Yeah, I'm still getting your money.
Yeah.
Other gyms, and I mean, you'll know if you train here, we will text you, we will contact you, hey, what's going on? Because again, it's in our best interest and in your best interest, so it's just win-win for a business model like ours.
Yeah, it's not like we're doing it from a nefarious place that, hey, we want you to keep paying. No, we generally want you to keep showing up. So
yeah, again, it's just win-win.
Yeah.
Like you're paying us because you want a certain kind of result, or you're getting something out of it, you're getting some sort of value from it. And of course, we benefit from you continuing to pay us, but you're seeing results.
Yeah, we recognize the only way for you to see it is to show up.
Exactly.
If you're not here, what are you doing?
So what does this all mean for you as a consumer? I think the idea is to think a little bit deeper into the decision of what gym to join or what method of fitness I'm joining, right? Are you actually at a point where, and this is where most of our clients are, where you're serious about making a change, you're maybe frustrated or tired with where you're at or what you've done in the past, and you know you need certain things, accountability, support, guidance, and you're serious about it. You're not just like fooling yourself. Yeah. Okay, then that's one thing to guide your decision making. Or what happens with most people, it's like, yeah, I kind of want to get fit. I'm gonna do it. I'll do it on my own this time. I've failed 20 times, but this time I'm gonna do it. And yeah, I'll pay for a gym because it's cheap. And sure, no one will hold me accountable, but I can hold myself accountable. And in other words, I'm obviously being,
the point you're trying to make, I think, is just be realistic with yourself. If you're serious about your fitness and you know that you're not gonna do it yourself, then you should probably pursue a place like Be Fit or a boutique gym that's gonna guide you and gonna help you. Usually, unfortunately, it happens to people. If they've failed a lot, it takes like a scare to get them to do something that serious, because some people
are like hitting rock bottom.
Because some people, it'll be enough for some to say, hey, I joined the membership gym, I'm gonna start going, and like that's enough for the day. But if you're serious and you want to make a change and you've hit rock bottom, or you're not happy with yourself, or you went to the doctor and they gave you some sort of medical diagnosis that scared you, then yeah, maybe you should pursue a place that is actually gonna have your best interest in mind.
Yeah, and it doesn't always have to be that way. Like, we do have the occasional client who is more of like a preventative, like, hey, I know I'm not gonna do it myself, I'm not gonna hold myself accountable, I've never really done this kind of training, and I wanna start with the right guidance from the beginning, I'm like, wow, great. Like, it doesn't always have to be like this intense pain point. The other thing I wanna,
it's the same as the people that come in and you ask them their fitness goals, and instead of them telling you like, I want to lose belly fat, they'll tell you more like, oh, I want to be stronger, I want to have more longevity, more energy. I'm like, wow, that's a breath of fresh air. Like, that's the type of person that is perfect for something like our studio, because yeah, that's exactly what we do. It's exactly what we want to do. That should be your end game. Obviously, the aesthetics come with it, but if you come with that mentality, what I call Miami mentality, like, I want to grow my butt, like, that usually is not a sustainable form of motivation.
It's not, because what's stopping you from just getting a BBL if you want to grow your butt?
Well, for me, it's a price.
Oh. The other thing I was gonna say, is I'm not hating on these other gyms whatsoever. If you're like already a disciplined person, like let's say you're a trainer like us, or you have experience in the gym, and you're pretty already disciplined, and all I need is a place where I have access to equipment. Yep. There's ample equipment, and it's not too crowded. It's close to my house. I see nothing wrong with paying for a gym like that. Again, it's like, I'm actually gonna go use it, right? Because I know that I'm disciplined. But you just, like he said, you have to be honest with yourself. 90% of people, especially Americans, are not gonna hold themselves accountable. That's why we exist.
That's literally why we do what we do.
Look at home fitness. We've talked about this in a previous podcast too. The success rate is super low because you're home, there's a million other distractions, a million other things to do. Yeah, you bought this fancy garage gym, but do you use it? Very few people do.
Guess what? Everybody can do it.
Everybody can do it. Technically, you can do anything, but will you?
You can go up and down your stairs. You don't need a gym. Go up and down your stairs and do push-ups.
So that's the point here, is that understand where you're at. Okay, I'm a disciplined person. I can do a $10 a month gym, use the equipment, write my own programs, or maybe my trainer writes programs for me and I pay $10. That's a good arrangement. We have clients like that too.
Yeah.
But again, if you're 90% of the population and you've tried a million times and you keep bumping your head against the wall and you keep quitting, stop putting yourself in a position where you're setting yourself up for failure again.
Yeah.
Put yourself in a position where we hear that time and time again, like, I'm glad I found you guys. I wish I would have found you guys earlier because you didn't let me quit.
Yeah. And that jumpstart is a lot of times is just what people need. We've seen it, and we actually, like, we don't mind at all. We like when people come to us, we kickstart their fitness journey, they end up liking exercise, and then they'll go and do it on their own. That's perfectly fine. We just want you guys to actually take action. We don't want you to be stagnant, spending money, wasting your time when you know you're not going to do it.
And not seeing results at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So again, it's more like demoralizing.
For everyone, and for us as fitness professionals, it's demoralizing too, trust me.
Yeah.
Another point is, like, I don't know about you, but for me personally, like, if somebody's kind of rooting for my downfall, you know, like banking on me to not show up, I don't want to like help support them and give them my money. I worked hard for that money. I want to actually like go somewhere that cares about me, somewhere that actually the people, I could see that the trainers, that the staff are actually invested in my health or my well-being.
The intentions of that organization matter to you.
Yeah. It's not like I'm not going to McDonald's, you know what I mean? Like
and the other way around, I'll be like, I'll prove you wrong. Oh, you think I'm not gonna pay? You think I'm not gonna show up with this $10 membership? I'm gonna milk it. I'm gonna shower in there every day.
He's serious.
I'm using my $10.
He will do it.
You bastards. And honestly, I have the same attitude when it comes to like supporting any other small business, and like let's say restaurants, for example. And I get into debates with people all the time. It's like, you know, you're on vacation and really you're gonna go to the chain that you've been to 1,000 times, or you're gonna go to like the little mom and pop place. Like I'm gonna go to. I know why people go to the chain, because it's familiar, because they know
it's usually cheaper.
It's cheaper there. It's familiar, but like there's something about supporting small business. Something like this person put their life savings into this, like their heart and soul into this. They usually you can talk to the owner, you can talk to the person that's making your food. Yeah, they're passionate about it, and I just feel better about giving my money. Again, like we vote with our money, right?
Yeah.
I feel more comfortable giving my money to a certain type of organization, a certain type of business.
Absolutely.
And that's just me.
That's just me, though.
The last thing I'd like to leave our viewers with is, instead of looking at fitness as a cost, right, like $10 a month, if you look at it only from a monetary standpoint, obviously everybody's gonna go with the cheaper one. But if you look at it as investing in something that's extremely valuable, investing in a trainer, a dedicated team of people to help keep me accountable, to support me on my journey. Because let's face it, we need as much support as possible. So if you look at it in that way, it's like, am I throwing away money by putting in the stock market or an IRA or whatever? I don't look at it like that. I look at it as an investment in my future, and I think with fitness is the same thing.
It's investing in your own health. I mean, that's the best way to put it. There's hundreds of quotes of people saying that you either pay for your health now or you end up paying the doctor in the future. So are you really gonna pay $10 and, you know, or pay a minimum price and not show up and not take care of yourself, or are you gonna pay for a quality product that's actually gonna take care of you and like add to your longevity and your quality of life?
Yeah, exactly. And like we've talked about before, after a year, which one do you regret, and which one are you like, wow, I'm so glad I did this, you know? Yeah, you spent a lot more money by investing into your health with the right people or the right organization, but after a year, and the time will pass anyway, you're happy that you did that. Whereas a year, and I'm sure you guys can attest to this, you've been paying for this membership for 2 years and you haven't used it at all, and now you just feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Like, God, I really just like threw that money. I just threw that money down the drain, you know? So again, hopefully the
decision's yours.
Yeah, hopefully this got you thinking a little bit different about just the business of fitness and how you'd like to invest or spend your money. But if you have any thoughts about that, or comments, or even criticisms, we welcome them. Yeah, tell them to Molly. She'll
bite you.
Will you?
For sure.
Molly.
Cheers, guys. Here you go, Molly. Ooh.
It's Molly's just begun.